Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. Sometimes, a single sentence is enough to reveal exactly how much space you truly hold in someone's life. And often, the strongest response to being made to feel small is to quietly walk away, without theatrics, without explanations. My name is Tyler, and this is the story of how my girlfriend chose her friends over me and never saw my next step coming. I'm 28 years old and worked as a content strategist for a digital marketing agency in Portland, Oregon. It was a job I genuinely enjoyed, creative, challenging, and fulfilling. For 4 steady years, I crafted messaging strategies for different clients. That's when I met Josephine. She was 26, working as an events coordinator for a major hotel chain. Josephine had this magnetic energy that drew people in, an effortless warmth that made conversations with her feel easy and real. From the start, our connection felt different from anything I'd experienced before. After years of casual dating that went nowhere, this felt promising. In those early months, we spent countless nights talking about everything. Our childhoods, the kind of future we imagined, what we valued in life. She was fun and lighthearted, but never overwhelming. Within just a few months, we were practically inseparable, alternating between my apartment and hers, building a rhythm that felt steady and real. I began imagining a future with her, something I hadn't allowed myself to do in past relationships. Josephine had a wide, vibrant social circle. College friends, work friends, people from yoga, and countless acquaintances she met just by being her charming, social self. She always had something going on: group dinners, weekend trips, happy hours. At first, I admired how she managed to balance it all. She made sure I felt included when it made sense, but also spent time with her friends separately. I respected that. I had my own friendships too, and it felt healthy to maintain our independence while growing together. By the 8-month mark, our conversations became more serious. Josephine would talk about wanting to get married in a couple of years, once we were both settled in our careers. She described her dream wedding, medium-sized, outdoors, surrounded by friends and family. We discussed where we might live long-term, whether we wanted kids, and what kind of life we want to build together. It wasn't just me talking about the future. She was just as invested. She seemed genuinely excited about the idea of building something lasting with me. But everything began to shift a year and 2 months into the relationship, when my career unexpectedly collapsed beneath me. The agency I worked for got acquired by a larger firm. Overnight, my department was shut down. 15 people, including me, were let go in a single day. We got 2 months of severance, but in the end, I was suddenly unemployed. That night, I told Josephine what happened. I expected comfort, the kind of support we'd always given each other. She hugged me, told me she was sorry, and reassured me I'd find something soon. She even offered to let me move in with her temporarily to ease the burden. That offer made me believe even more strongly in us. It felt like a promise. We'd face this together. So I packed up my things, stored most of my belongings, and moved into her 1-bedroom apartment. At first, it worked. I spent my days sending out resumes, polishing my portfolio, and reaching out to contacts. In return, I cooked, cleaned, ran errands, and tried to make our home comfortable for her. She seemed to appreciate it, thanking me for the meals, the clean apartment, the support. We both knew it was temporary. I'd find a new job soon, contribute again, and everything would fall back into place. But as the weeks stretched into 2 months, I started noticing subtle shifts. Josephine became curt and easily irritated over small things. The warmth between us faded into something distant and mechanical. She also started spending more and more time with her friends, accepting every invitation, filling her calendar with dinners, yoga, brunches, and shopping trips. I tried to be understanding. She was carrying all the financial weight, and she deserved her social time. But slowly, it began to feel like I was living alone in a shared space. I'd spend evenings cooking dinner for one, waiting for someone who barely acknowledged me anymore. Weekend mornings, she was already gone before I even woke up. The hardest part was how she began canceling our plans whenever something came up with her friends. A movie night we'd planned would be brushed aside for a last-minute dinner with her college group. A weekend together would turn into another outing with her coworkers. She always apologized, but nothing changed. Even when she was home, she wasn't really there. Her attention belonged to her phone, to endless group chats and calls. She'd talk about her life with her friends first, and I'd hear about it later, or not at all. Our relationship stopped feeling like a partnership. It felt like I was just there, a guest, a quiet roommate. I didn't confront her right away. Part of me believed my job loss was stressing her out too. Part of me clung to the hope that things would go back to normal once I was earning again. But beneath the surface, I was watching closely, memorizing every canceled plan, every cold glance, every moment her eyes lit up for someone else's text but stayed flat for me. 3 months after losing my job, things finally started turning around. I began picking up freelance content strategy projects, slowly rebuilding my income. Then, I landed a major contract with a tech startup, a 6-month deal with solid pay and potential extensions. This was my turning point. I could support myself again. I could contribute to rent, bills, everything. But by then, Josephine had stopped asking about my work altogether. So I didn't tell her. I quietly started paying for groceries, covering half the bills, and buying little things for the apartment. She said thank you, but nothing else changed. The emotional distance remained. She was still wrapped up in her friends, still canceling on me, still treating me like an optional afterthought. My financial recovery didn't change what I had become in her life. Background noise. I started lying awake at night, scrolling through apartment listings while she slept next to me. I was already planning my way out. The final straw came on a Thursday evening. We'd actually made a dinner reservation at a restaurant we both loved, something I'd been looking forward to all week. Just 2 hours before, she came home and casually announced she was going out with her friends instead. It was her college roommate's birthday. She'd known about it for weeks, but acted like she'd just remembered. When I reminded her of our plans, she brushed it off, said her friend's birthday was more important. When I said I felt like I barely existed in her schedule anymore, she accused me of being jealous. That was the moment something inside me shifted. She'd shown me for months where I ranked in her world. Her words just made it official. I told her calmly that I felt like I had become invisible to her, that living together somehow made me less of a priority, not more. She got defensive immediately, said I was too sensitive, said she wouldn't sacrifice her friends just because I couldn't handle her having a social life. I tried to explain it wasn't about jealousy. It was about the pattern of constant cancellations, the lack of presence, the way I'd been pushed to the sidelines in my own relationship. And that's when she said it. Love can wait, she told me, but friendship can't. They'll be here after you. The room fell completely silent. I just stared at her, realizing she meant every word. In that moment, I understood everything with painful clarity. To her, I was temporary. Her friends were permanent. I didn't yell. I didn't plead. I didn't try to make her see what she was losing. I just nodded, walked to the bedroom, pulled out my suitcase, and started packing. She watched me with confusion, probably expecting a fight, not quiet finality. When she realized I was actually leaving, her tone shifted from defensive to panicked. She tried to explain, tried to say I misunderstood, but there was nothing to misunderstand. I zipped my suitcase, walked to the door, and left. I checked into a hotel that night. It was silent, peaceful, final. Over the next few days, I rebuilt my life from the ground up. I found a small studio apartment, affordable with my freelance income. I moved my things out of storage. No social media posts, no dramatic announcements, no trying to control the story. I just moved forward. My work took off. The startup extended my contract and referred me to other companies. I earned more than I had at my old job, with more freedom and creative control. I reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with. My life was mine again. 3 weeks later, Josephine showed up at my door. She was dressed simply, not in her usual going-out clothes. There was hesitation in her eyes. She said she got my address from a mutual friend and wanted to talk. As she looked around my new place, I could see the surprise on her face. I wasn't broken. I was thriving. She said I seemed to be doing well. She wasn't wrong. I told her plainly that I was fine. I was living the life I built for myself. I could see the regret in her posture. Maybe she'd expected me to fall apart. Maybe she thought I'd realize I couldn't live without her. Instead, she found someone who had found peace. I didn't give her the chance to rewrite what happened. I told her I didn't hate her. I wished her well, but I couldn't unhear those words, because that one sentence had told me everything. Josephine stood there for a moment, probably realizing too late what she'd lost. I closed the door feeling nothing but clarity. You don't need someone's apology to move on. You don't need them to understand. You just need to accept what they've already shown you and honor your own worth. I found peace not in revenge, not in proving a point, but in walking away from a place I was never truly valued. There was no dramatic confrontation, no happy reunion, just a man who knew what he deserved, a woman who only understood the value of what she had after it was gone, and the quiet satisfaction of choosing yourself over being treated as optional. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply leave, pack your bags, find your peace, build something better without them. That's what I did, and it was enough.